Hi guys, well in this video we're going to be checking out the very latest Z490 board from the ROG team, which focuses heavily on water. This is the Maximus XII Formula. This is not your typical run-of-the-mill board by any means, and the incorporated features themselves command a big price tag. Formula has an integrated hybrid cooling system which has been co-developed with EK water blocks. Not only that, but this board is decked out with a stack of headers which work hand in hand with fans, pumps, flow rate meters and thermal probes. It also tackles connectivity and storage very well, even offers a third M.2 slot on the back of the board. And this is obviously designed for a specific user group, and while it isn't the most expensive Z490 out there, you are going to need to be sitting down for this one. MSRP is around 500 US, 1,000 in Australia. The question is though, is investing in such a caliber of board, such a high performance board, really worth it for this platform? Let's find out. And before we get into our review, today's video is brought to you by Corsair and their new A500 CPU cooler. This huge thermal solution is ready to take on both Intel and AMD platforms and is equipped with 4 direct contact copper heat pipes as well as 2 ML120 cooling fans. Those fans can have their height adjusted thanks to the slide and lock mounting system, making it possible to add in memory which uses taller heat sinks. For more info on the A500, be sure to check out that link in the description. Here is the box that Formula arrives in. If you look at the back, we've got the tech spec and the fundamental features as you would expect. I'm not going to go through these at the moment, but inside we have the documentation, the CD there, user manual, keyring, sticker sheet, and a welcome card. And then we have a bunch of accessories. So we get 6 SATA cables. Get some thermal probe cables, RGB, some screws there for M.2, Q-Connect, and then we've got a case badge. Okay, so here is the Formula. Now if you compare this Z490 to its Z390 predecessor, there are actually very few differences when we come to look at the overall layout, the design and styling. This is a big bulky board which commands a strong visual aesthetic, something which we've come to appreciate on most ROG boards in recent times. In terms of the styling, we get a matte black PCB, which actually won't see much of because of those covers. Black and gunmetal is the theme which the ROG team has gone with on this board, and I must say that this combo here is used far too much, making it hard to distinguish between brands and models. If you do want to add in some colour, there is plenty of RGB lighting on this board, with Aura Sync being present so you can synchronise other ASUS products. Formula also benefits from having Live OLED, which gives you a heads-up display on a 2-inch panel. You can see important post stages, BIOS update progress, and even add in some customised animations. For those wanting to know the size of the board, although it does look huge, you'll be surprised to know that this board still conforms to the ATX form factor, so it will fit inside most mid-towers. So first of all, let's move in for a look at the features around the CPU socket. So this board is designed for Intel's 10th gen processors, which are codenamed Comet Lake. And so the socket is different, however, those mounting holes for the CPU cooler are still the same as 1151. So if you already have a cooler for 1151, then it will install. Just make sure that you check with the manufacturer if it is going to be suitable and up to the job. Different brands have released compatibility statements. Now in terms of the power circuit, we have a 16 power stage board in front of us with 2 large brushed metal heatsinks which are interconnected. Now these heatsinks have been named Cross Chill, and we've seen them on previous generations of Formula. The heatsink design is in collaboration with EK water blocks, and so this is a hybrid design, meaning that you can take advantage of liquid cooling the VRMs. EK has developed a new bridge which links a compatible CPU block direct to Cross Chill. This is going to be exclusive to Formula and it's going to be available to buy very soon. Now in our web review, we'll be seeing how effective this cooling design is without going down that liquid cooling route. Up in the top left corner we have the CPU power, which is an 8+4 pin socket. These connectors are what ASUS term the ProCool connectors. You'll see them on other boards too. The pins inside that connector are stronger and are able to carry heavier loads. Now in terms of the headers, there are 2 CPU fan headers, 2 headers for liquid cooling, one is for pumps and the other for all-in-one solutions, and then we have 4 additional headers. One offers the higher amps. Both the water headers are set to 100% by default, but they can be adjusted accordingly in the BIOS. We also get 4 RGB headers, 2 are addressable and 2 are 50/50. Moving to the memory, there are 4 slots here with support for dual channel DDR4 up to 128 gig and up to 4800 MHz. This board makes use of OptiMem3, which is a method which ASUS are using and adopting to improve and optimize the signal integrity. Formula comes with LED debug in the corner, as well as those independent power and reset buttons, and right next to the 24-pin power, we have Q LEDs for troubleshooting those core components. Formula comes with a USB 3.2 Gen 2 header and 2 USB 3 headers. One of those is right angled, so that gives you a bit of flexibility for new and older cases. Next is the storage, which includes the 6 SATA 36G ports for any SATA based devices. Then we have 3 M.2 slots which utilize PCI Express Gen 3 X4, and one of those stretches to allow the 22110 form factor. And just while we're in that corner, next to the SATA ports, we have 2 headers which are designated for water cooling. One of those is the flow rate header for use with a meter, and the other is a water in, water out temperature header. And then behind all of this, we have the Z490 chip underneath that ROG logo. In the expansion area, we have 3 PCI Express 3.0 X16s and just 1 PCI Express 3.0 X1. And the modes for the X16s are 16, 8 and 4. The top slot is the one that offers the full 16 lanes from the CPU, so if you're going to use a single graphics card, that is the best one to use. And if you add in another card, it's going to drop down to 8. You can also see that the 2 upper slots benefit from the metal reinforcement to give you some extra protection for those heavier graphics cards, and you should be able to tell also that it's slightly wider, which helps you with the stability. Immediately next to that PCI Express, we have the audio solution, which is Supreme FX. It's based around the Realtek 1220 codec. And as part of the Supreme FX package, we get the ES9023 DAC and op-amp, which is the RC4580. We also get audio shielding, premium Japanese caps, and separated left and right channels. And so a few more features for those audio files. And then finally, for the connectivity on the back panel, we have clear CMOS button with the BIOS flashback, a total of 6 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, those are all blue, PS2 keyboard mouse, 10 gig Ethernet, that is via the Marvel AQC 107, the red ports are all USB 3.2 Gen 2, we get 3 Type A and 1 Type C. Then we get another Ethernet, that one is 2.5 gig using the Intel controller. We get Wi-Fi 6 antennas, those are using the Intel AX201. And then the 8 channel audio jacks with optical out. And so a huge amount of ports on the back panel here, many of which are going to be ideal for the type of enthusiast that is looking at this board. It's interesting to see there that 2.5 gig Ethernet is now the base standard. Okay, well that is what you guys can expect from Formula. This board is obviously water centric, it has all of the features there that work hand in hand with a water cooling configuration. It has the hybrid cross chill EK solution, all of the headers, whether that is for the fans, the pumps, flow rate meters, thermal probes, and then it takes a few other things up a notch. On the back panel there, we've got the dual Ethernet. We have a 2.5 gig and then the other one is 10 gig. So if you've got devices which can take advantage of that on your network, then that higher bandwidth is going to be amazing. It's going to boost performance and it's going to improve your workflow. Formula also comes with 3 M.2 slots, 2 of those being on the top side, which have the included heatsink, and the third is on the back side of the board. So both of those spots are a pretty good use of space. They're going to come in handy for increasing your storage options. Now there are no video outputs on the back panel. Instead we get greater allocation for USB and we get the PS2. And to some that's probably quite a strange decision, but it's actually been a fixture on ROG boards in the past. I actually spoke to the team and they mentioned that the reasoning behind this is that tech enthusiasts are going to favour USB over video outs because they're probably going to use a discrete graphics card, and for gamers PS2 is there for N-key rollover. But what do you guys think of that decision? Let me know in the top right corner by casting your vote. Now this board is obviously high performance offering. It isn't for everyone, is it? It's not going to be designed for everyone, of course, and be warned that the board is pretty big and it's heavy. The backplate on Formula not only adds in some extra weight, but also create some compatibility issues for cases, adding in an additional 5mm. Be sure to check out the web review for this Formula here. That will be appearing on the screen and in the description very soon once that CPU embargo has lifted. We'll have all the performance there and of course the overclocking results as well for Formula. Thanks for watching today guys, really do appreciate it. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Stay tuned for more Z490 coverage Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.